31-year-old Corneisha Butler was very happy about getting a house in Atlanta for her and her 4 children. She couldn't wait to have a housewarming party to get gifts from family and friends for her new home. She also started planning for Thanksgiving. This year, she would invite people to her house for the holiday. Very exciting time. Unfortunately, about a week before Thanksgiving, a monkey wrench was thrown, totally destroying Corneisha's plan. Take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Click the notification bell for all updates. If you're watching from Memphis, Tennessee or Holly Springs, Mississippi, let me know below. I definitely want to hear from you. Corneisha Butler, 31 years old, with 4 young children, 3 little girls and 1 little boy, a toddler. She promoted on Facebook that she had a tax preparation service, and she also listed that at some point she offered esthetician services. Corneisha, also known as Nisha, is from Memphis, Tennessee, but moved to Atlanta a while ago with her girlfriend Shakia Perkins. Shakia, 25 years old, much younger than Nisha, 6 years her junior. Back in 2021, Shakia told the Small Business Administration that she owned a barbershop, and that's how she was able to collect over $20,000 in PPP money. She was also suspected of being a dealer distributing illegal substances. Corneisha and Shakia, they had been in a toxic relationship on and off for 6 years. And during that time, Nisha continued to have children, although she was in a relationship with a woman. She was still dating men and other women. The men getting under Shakia's skin the most because she didn't have what they had, but often tried to resemble a man, which wasn't enough for Corneisha. Corneisha knew just how to upset Shakia and expose her own insecurities. Now, both of the women knew that they were in a toxic relationship and even told the world on social media when bragging about their connection on Facebook, highlighting their toxicity, but telling everyone that they loved each other. September 25th, 2021, there was an incident reported to the South Fulton County Police Department. Officers responded to a house in College Park that Corneisha was renting at the time. It was a Friday night turned Saturday in the wee hours of the morning around 4 a.m. when the police arrived on site. According to the report, upon arrival, the officers saw a 2008 Jeep Wrangler fully engulfed in flames in the driveway. The flames then moved to a 2012 Mercedes-Benz that was next to it. They noted that the Mercedes had Tennessee plates. The residence was reportedly owned by Corneisha's brother Terrence Jenkins, also from Memphis, while the cars were both owned by Corneisha. This all took place while she was inside of the house with one of her boyfriends and her 4 kids when she noticed an orange light outside. She looked out in the driveway to see her 2 cars on fire. That's when she dialed 911. Corneisha had an idea who did it from the beginning. She told officers right away that she believed it was her ex Shakia. Shakia at the time was living in the Hampton, Georgia area. Nisha told officers that she and Shakia had been having issues over the last few weeks. Shakia had a gray Dodge Challenger, and the neighbor's Ring camera also caught a car that looked like Shakia's car passing by shortly before the fire. Corneisha's cousin Amber, also from Memphis, told police that she witnessed Shakia pulling out of the neighborhood when she was coming in on her way to Corneisha's house. Luckily though, no one was hurt. Corneisha's 4 kids safe, Corneisha's safe, her boyfriend in the house, as well as her girl cousin who was on her way to the house. Everyone's safe. The neighbors also safe due to the work of the South Fulton Fire Department. They made it to the residence in time to extinguish the fire that caused major damage to Corneisha's 2008 Jeep and her 2012 Mercedes. Unfortunately, her brother's house that she was renting was also damaged. The fire ended up spreading to his garage. Her brother was provided with a case number, so I'm assuming he was able to get the house fixed by filing an insurance claim and showing that a crime was committed by his sister's on and off girlfriend. After the fire, Corneisha filed a restraining order against Shakia. A judge granted that order, but it looks like Shakia was never punished for setting fire to the cars and damaging the garage of Corneisha's brother's home. 7 months later, Shakia was arrested by officers in a nearby county, DeKalb County. She was arrested for criminal trespassing as well as possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute. She was booked by DeKalb County PD on May 18, 2022 at 12:52 a.m. and was allowed to bond out a couple of days later on May 21st at 8:30 p.m. Although Corneisha had an active restraining order against Shakia, she still had contact with her, which was very strange because Shakia already showed that she was dangerous. Corneisha, a mother of 4, she had been dating Shakia off and on since Shakia was only 19 years old. Over a year after the major incident with the fire, there was a text message that surfaced here. It shows everything that Shakia wrote to Corneisha, but every single message sent by Corneisha was deleted, totally wiping out Corneisha's words and making it impossible to fully interpret the conversation. In the message, it appears that Corneisha was reaching out to Shakia about something related to money. Shakia responded, okay. Then something else was said by Corneisha. Shakia responded by saying, pay your insurance. Corneisha brought up another woman involved in the issue, and Shakia says, ask her then. Corneisha said something else, not sure what it was, of course, because everything was deleted. And that's when Shakia responded by saying, okay, you worry about it, not me. That was the comment right there that seemed to upset Corneisha. Really not sure what she wanted her to pay or what she was upset about, but it sounds like Corneisha's anger was surrounding an issue involving a bill or something financial. She wanted Shakia to give her money for whatever it was. Shakia wasn't responding the way that she wanted her to. Instead, it sounds like Shakia was trying to deny that she needed to give Corneisha anything. Corneisha got very upset with Shakia's nonchalant answers, and it seems like she started going off on her. And that could be the reason why all of Corneisha's messages mysteriously got deleted, but whoever leaked this, they left all of Shakia's messages. It looks like Corneisha started talking smack to Shakia. Shakia laughed it off and said, LOL, okay. Corneisha kept going, trying to get Shakia angry because she was already mad with Shakia's nonchalant attitude. Shakia said, keep talking. Corneisha kept going, and that's when she got the reaction that she was looking for. It was very common in their toxic relationship. Shakia said, you'll be dead soon, so keep talking. That's what I want you to do. Shakia then told Corneisha this, I'm going for first degree, not second, and I stamped that. Corneisha is still going off. That's when Shakia said, it's all fun and joke till you're scared for your life, huh? So apparently, after their argument via text message, on November 16th, Shakia did exactly what she promised. She shot Corneisha, and at least one of her kids witnessed it. Corneisha did not survive, and Shakia was picked up and charged with first-degree murder, which is what she told Corneisha she was going for in those highly edited text messages. The family raised money via GoFundMe. That page has since been removed, and the funeral was scheduled for a couple of weeks later, partially due to the Thanksgiving holiday. Family friends shared the details on Facebook. Corneisha's funeral arrangements, the viewing on December 2nd, 2022, and then the actual homegoing the next day, December 3rd, at a funeral home in Memphis. This is a situation that really rocked Memphis and the Mississippi community because Corneisha was popular in the city. Although they both moved to Georgia, their family and friends back in Memphis always kept in touch with them, especially through social media. Corneisha was known for her bright pink cars, her pink clothes, her pink hair. She loved when people called her the Black Barbie. And one woman wrote this on Twitter in response to the news. She says, I wish the police and courts actually took the restraining orders and order of protection seriously. Too many young women being murdered over choosing themselves. Prayers to her family. And this is always mentioned in cases like this. They blame the police officers, the court system, because they don't want to hold the involved parties accountable. The judge did take the order of protection seriously. They granted it. This is the part that no one would acknowledge though. It was Corneisha and Shakia who did not take the order seriously. They made it seem like Corneisha broke it off with Shakia a long time ago and Shakia was a stalker. That's not the full story. Although Corneisha filed the restraining order, she was still communicating with Shakia. Why? I don't know, because they don't have any kids together. These are two females, her 4 kids from different men, not Shakia. They both ignored the order and remained in contact with each other. Not only that, Corneisha moved into a new house a month before this last incident, and she was obviously still involved with Shakia because Shakia had been to her new house already. When someone is supposedly stalking you for over a year and a half, you change your phone number and don't give them the new number. When you move, you don't give them your new address. Even if you wanted them to pay for something, you don't initiate text messages with them, then start gaslighting. You do not contact them at all. And if you really believe that they owed you something, then you file a case in small claims court. You don't send a bunch of text messages and then erase everything that you wrote. This is what happens when these people keep engaging in these toxic relationships. Now, Shakia is 100% wrong for reacting to Corneisha as well. She could have just moved on with her life. Word is that Corneisha also lost the father of one of her kids, and she buried her own father this year, and now this. So I really don't know where to start here. I know many of you watching never heard of this story. It happened less than 2 weeks ago, a little bit over a week and a half ago in Atlanta. The folks in Atlanta haven't even heard about this either, but our people out in Memphis, they've been talking about this more than anybody else because that's the area they all came from. Corneisha straight out of the 901 and Shakia from Holly Springs, Mississippi, which is a part of the greater Memphis, Tennessee area, the metro. You know, just like Horn Lake and Olive Branch, Mississippi, a lot of those areas close to Memphis. The people from those towns often run with the Memphis crowd and travel to the bigger city to hang out, shop, party, things like that. But I'm not surprised that no one talked about this, no local or national news reports, because we're talking about a single mother of 4 taken out by her girlfriend. If it had been one of her boyfriends, this would have made it everywhere. Speaking of boyfriends, Corneisha was going back and forth between her girlfriend Shakia and men for years. Although she was dating Shakia, she kept messing with men and getting pregnant. That's one thing that Shakia couldn't do, that was get her pregnant. And oftentimes we see these situations with a stud where she has a girlfriend still messing around with men, and there's a constant competition between the stud and the men. It's totally ridiculous, but it's an ego booster for the fluid woman, while it's a harsh reality for the stud female or the hard female. You see, the stud was dedicated to women only, while the fluid woman entertains females and males. It was a man in the house over a year ago when Shakia set fire to the cars in Corneisha's driveway. I really think that Shakia should have moved on and cut off all ties with Corneisha instead of going back and forth with her. Same for Corneisha. She kept fooling around with this woman and still wanted her attention. These two just kept getting back together, even after the fire. Corneisha and Shakia spent Valentine's Day together in 2022 and then bragged about how toxic their relationship was on Facebook. That's why even when she moved into her new house, she shared her new address with Shakia as they were still in contact with each other, totally disregarding the restraining order that was granted over a year ago. I don't believe the system failed Corneisha with a restraining order. Corneisha failed herself and her children by continuing to communicate and see this woman violating the order. Where I do believe the court system messed up, it's not harshly punishing Shakia for that incident that happened a year ago. If Shakia was prosecuted accordingly and judged for her actions, then she would have been locked up when she caused the fire. Under Georgia law, she could have been punished by fines or jail time from 1 year to 20 years. And in my opinion, Shakia should have received at least 7 years in prison for that situation, and then she wouldn't have been free to do what she did, ultimately taking Corneisha's life. But we all know they take it light on women. I also believe that Corneisha had a duty to protect her kids from this woman, and that should have been done by cutting off all communication, changing her number, her address, and not giving that information to Shakia. Also, sometime last year, Corneisha had a stud friend whose life was taken in a similar situation with her girlfriend as well. You know, there's a very alarming rate of DV cases between females. And then one thing that we keep seeing with all of these people that's supposed to have all of this money, they tell everyone online that they have their own businesses. The narrative is that they always have all these haters that's jealous of them in their $1,000, $2,000 designer purses, their luxury cars, designer clothes, expensive weaves, but they don't have life insurance. And I'm not just talking about Corneisha. This is a crazy trend that's happening. Please explain how all these people who parade around social media and have their followers thinking that they're rich, they don't have life insurance or funds to bury themselves. The math isn't mathing. Are these people rich with poor friends and significant others who are jealous of them for their riches? Or are they average people with average money and not enough money in the family to cover burials amongst the family without having to go to GoFundMe to raise money? You know, there was once a time when the baby boomers made sure that the whole family had life insurance. It was usually purchased for the kids at a very young age, and they just paid it forever. I mean, the older generation, they planned everything and didn't have the luxury of fundraisers. You know, at the end of the day, all around, this is a horrible situation. Sending condolences to the family, especially the ones who will end up taking care of Corneisha's 3 daughters and her son. A lot of them saying that they didn't know the full details of their on and off again relationship, or they didn't know it was this bad, or else they would have stepped in and tried to do something. I do believe it's nothing that you can really do, because when you tell family members or friends to leave toxic situations, it's like the rebel energy in them will cause them to do the opposite and try to prove to you that you're wrong or that they are in control of the situation. And also, when you tell them the truth, a lot of them will cut you off because they don't want to hear it. It's just absolutely horrible. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Is there anything that outside parties could have done to prevent this situation? Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.